Hi everyone. This is the first video for Chapter 4, and Chapter 4 is called Taking Control, 4A, Taking Control of Your Finances. And you can follow along in your book to find the answers to these questions, or you can just listen to this video and see if you understand what we're doing. Most of it is just a bunch of math problems that deal with income, so I want to show you how to do them, and you can work through them and be able to do my math lab. So if you look in your book, you will see the 4 suggestions to control your finances. So one is to know, sorry for the writing, your bank balance. Always important to know what's in your bank, the balance of the money that you have, for one. Second thing, it's important that you know what you spend. And this is a big one here. When you don't keep track, it's really easy. It's like water, it just runs through your hands. 3, something really important to control your finances is to don't buy on impulse. This is a good one for me. I see things I like all the time and think, I'm just going to get that, but that's impulsive buying. 4th thing the book suggests is to make a budget and don't overspend it. This is a great idea for anyone. Make a budget and don't overspend. It's hard to keep a budget and to stay within it, but it really does reap many benefits for you. So I'm going to try a few of these problems that are listed here, and we have review example 1. We have some latte money. Now there are some videos on that I have posted that deal with these problems as well, if you'd rather watch them. We're going to look at the latte. It says that we have an individual who buys a large latte for $5, and they buy one a day. So right there we know if they're buying one a day, and we're looking at the cost for, it doesn't really say that, we're looking at the cost for 1 year. Okay, so let's find the cost for 1 year. And this is example 1 in your textbook on page 193. Okay, so if they're getting a large latte and it's $5 and they're getting one a day, we know that that's going to be $365 right there, because there are 365 days in a year and he gets one a day. Then it says he gets a second one every 3 days. Well, we need to know how many that is. So if we have 365 days in a year, we're going to divide that by 3, because it's every 3 days. And if you divide that, you get 121 lattes. So we have to add the 121. And by the way, this should not be money. This should just be how many lattes. So we add 121, and we get a total of 486 lattes in a year. Now, it says each latte costs $5. So let's take that, use our calculator, multiply it by $5. And your answer is $2,430 a year. Now, that was for one latte every day, and then a second one every 3 days. That's $2,000 a year. That's a lot of money that you might not have really thought about in terms of being $2,000 a year, that you could have taken that money and done something else with it, whether it be investing it, saving it, or some idea like that. Okay, let's try to get back to our problems here. Sorry about my use of this tablet. Let's try 2A. Compute the total cost per year of the following pairs of expenses. Then complete the sentence. On an annual basis, the first set of expenses is what percent of the second set of expenses? And give me 1 second here, because I have got to start my video timer, because if I go too long, then I cannot upload this to YouTube. Okay, so compute the total cost per year. Homer spends $10 per week on lottery tickets and $400 per month on rent. Okay, $10 a week. How many weeks are in a year? Because we're doing the total cost per year. So there are 52 weeks in a year. And if he's spending $10 a week on that, that equals 52 times 10, which is $520. Then that was for lottery tickets. Then he spends $400 per month on rent. There are 12 months in a year. So he is spending 400 times the 12 months, and that gives us a total of 4,800. Now, the question says, on an annual basis, that's yearly basis, the first set of expenses is what percent of the second set? This is the first, this is the second. So they want us to take 520 and divide it by 4,800. That's what these questions want. They're saying take the first expense, find what percent it is of the second expense. And when you do that by your calculator, you're going to get 0.1083 with a line over it. And we're going to round that to the nearest hundredths, which would be 11, and move it to the right too, because we need a percent. So we have 11%. Okay? Because it would be 10.85, which rounds to 11.11, which is 11%. Okay, let's try another one. Review credit card interest, example 2. Look at your book, read through example 2. How do we do the problem? Your average monthly credit card balance is $1,100. That's what's on your card for a balance. It's a 24% annual interest rate, which is very high. And if you want, you can look at that as 2% per month, because you would just take the 24 annual percent divided by your 12 months, and that gives you the 2% per month. How much is this person spending on interest, just interest? So to figure this problem out, we would take the 2%, which, remember to change that to a decimal, we would go to the left 2. So this would be 0.02. We would times that by the $1,100 to figure out what our monthly interest is. The monthly interest is $22 per month. So in interest, she's paying $22 per month. Now, what if we wanted to know what her yearly cost is? Well, if it's $22 a month, we can take 22 times 12 months, which gives us a total of 2,600. Or, sorry, let me get that eraser going there. Let's try that again. $264 a year. Okay, now that's how you can do the problem by finding monthly. Another way to do that problem would have been to just take the 1,100 times the 0.24, and you will get the same answer. Okay, the difference being that the book wanted us to figure out the monthly interest and then from there multiply it by 12, because it wants us to do things a certain way. Okay, let's look at A. Try this. Brooke's credit card has an annual interest rate of 21% on her unpaid balance, which averages $900. Whew, that's a high interest rate, 21%. She has an average balance of $900 on her credit card. These are a little unrealistic, I think, or maybe not. Maybe people have balances of $900 on their credit card. Find the monthly interest payments. See how we can't just do it the easy way. We have to find the monthly interest payments. Assume monthly interest rates are 1/12 of the annual interest rates. So here's what they want us to do, although we all know we can do it a different way. There are different ways to do these problems, and that's fine with me, however you choose to do them. But know how to find a monthly one. Take your 21% and divide it by 12, because there's 12 months, because that's a yearly rate. So you end up with 1.75% per month. and that is your interest rate each month. So we take her balance of $900 and we multiply it by the decimal. You have to go left 2 with your decimal point, get rid of your percent, 0.175, and we get 15.75 per month in interest. And they want to know what her cost is for the year. Okay, so we find the monthly interest payments. We did that. And now let's figure out what her yearly rate would be. So we would take our 15.75 times 12, and that should give you an answer of $189. Okay, that's how much she's paying in interest on that $900. So you've got to be very careful when you think about these problems, or when you think about putting things on your credit card, because you're paying an awful lot of money in a year just to use that credit card. Notice that the $189 is what you pay in interest. It's not going toward the $900 that you still owe on a balance on your credit card. So credit card companies will make it real easy for you and say, just pay this interest per month. Just pay this $15.75 per month. And you think, wow, that's a great deal. So you pay $15.75 a month. But what you don't realize is that's just the interest payment. You're never, ever touching this $900 that you started with. Okay? Okay, let's move on to another one. Let's see what we come up with here. Okay, college expenses. If you go to example 3 in your textbook, you'll see college expenses. You pay college expenses twice a year, $3,500 for tuition each semester, $750 student fees each semester, $800 for textbooks each semester. Compute total expenses. So a semester is there's 2 in a year. So let's add up all these costs and multiply it by 2. So how about if we write it, how about if we write it like this, 2 times 3,500 for our tuition, plus 750 for the student fees, plus 800. Add those up in your calculator, multiply it by 2, you're going to get a total of $10,100. Okay, that's for the year, your expenses. Now we want to compute we want to know what that's going to cost per month, because we're trying to do a budget and we need to know how much to put aside each month. So we're going to divide this by 12 months, and that would give us a total of $842. Now your book does something weird. It puts $850 on the expense list that it makes up. Don't ask me why. They just want to round up so that you have a little extra money in case things get crazy. So that's what they do. Okay, that's their answer, and you were supposed to compute what a monthly expense was. Okay, so I'm going to stop this video on problem 4 and pick up a second video. We'll start with 4A.